All righty. It looks like people are joining in now for this month's Smart Take. Hey, Brian, how are you doing today?
Yeah, doing great. Excited to jump in and kind of give folks a nice punchy version of what to keep an eye out for. What's rolling out from the HubSpot product team and trying to help prioritize, right? That giant feed of betas and new product announcements gets a little overwhelming. So yeah, excited to work with you here on this one, Paul.
Awesome. It looks like folks are still rolling in now. Thanks everybody for joining. This is the first episode of season 4. I can't believe we're already gone through 3 seasons, jumping into number 4, and we will dive into some of the product updates from this last month in just a minute. So for those of you, I'm going to jump over to the next slide. So welcome to season 4. For those of you that are here, what is SmartTake? SmartTake, this is built for HubSpot users who want to just understand the most impactful monthly platform updates. Brian and I have actually been doing these types of presentations for the last year or so. And for our internal team, we just thought it would be so useful just to be able to share this with everybody else and just kind of go through what are some of those updates each month that are so impactful. HubSpot's product team, they move so fast, and with 50 to 100 new product updates coming out every month, it's hard to kind of keep tabs on like what's important. And especially if you have multiple hubs, there could be like a dozen new things that roll out. And so our goal with SmartTake is to help distill this down into the most impactful updates. So that way you get the most out of the platform. You understand the most impactful updates for what you need to do in your role. And so within this monthly presentation, we'll go hub by hub. We'll talk through marketing, sales, service, content, and ops hub. And the format's pretty simple. It's a 30-minute episode. We'll cover the top 5 features that were released this last month, their importance and the use cases. And then from there, you can feel free to jump in with any questions as well. Just quick introductions. I'm Paul Schmidt. I'm the VP of Marketing here at SmartBug. I'm also a HubSpot Certified Trainer, and I'm a former HubSpotter as well. So been in the ecosystem for a while. And then, Brian, why don't you introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, happy to. A longtime HubSpotter, been at HubSpot for 8 years, working across partner businesses and direct sales. Um, and I, even as a HubSpotter, get overwhelmed with some of this stuff. So I'm excited to dive in with Paul, who's a serious expert, and just provide my inside scoop in terms of insights from what I'm seeing internally at HubSpot, what I see to be important and what else is coming. There's some stuff that I can't share, but I'll point you in the right direction as best I can, and highlight the stuff that excites me seeing HubSpot's product evolve and grow over the past couple of years. So let's dive in.
Excellent, right? And so, just real quickly, we'll be sending out the recording after this. So, for those of you that have to cut out early or miss this or anything like that, we'll have the recording in your inbox shortly. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat as well. And with that, Brian, let's go. So first off, let's talk Marketing Hub. And big update for this last month is the announcement of multi-account management. Brian, take us through what this is.
Yeah, this is actually a really big one for those customers who have wanted business units as a feature to be better than it is, or they have multiple distinct businesses that require either strict separation or operational independence. They have a different business model or different marketing teams, but they are connected. It's a shared ownership, it's a family of brands. We've had a number of customers who have either said, no, we can't do everything in one portal because, or okay, now that we have all these disparate portals, like what the heck? How do we connect these things? Like we have cross-sell and upsell opportunities. We want to be able to replicate what we've built in one across all these others and not do that manual work over and over again. Okay, so multi-account management is a feature that is built out. You need Marketing Hub Enterprise, but it is a portal-wide feature. So once you have Marketing Hub Enterprise, you get organizational management. So that tells you, okay, how many other portals, and they can be pro to your portals, even if you have one enterprise. How do we want these to relate? Do we want to be able to share things 2 directions or just 1 direction? The next feature that's baked into this multi-account management at launch is asset copying. So if you've built something in one portal, you can click a button and copy that asset over into the other. So this is a month and year rollout process. Right now, you can copy emails, you can copy lists, and you can copy forms. There's more coming. You can imagine like CRM properties that you've created in one portal to copy over or workflows. And then the last bit that I think is really cool for sales teams is data mirroring. So right now you can see contact data. If a contact is present in any of the portals or multiple of the portals that you're sharing information between, you can click a button on the contact record and it'll show what activity that contact has been doing with your other brands. And that's a big get for sales reps to be able to see, ooh, someone else just bought one of our other products or works with one of our other businesses. That's information that you want to know. So super excited about this. Quick caveat, business units will still exist. It's being renamed to brands. And again, that's really for centralized marketing teams where you're managing a multi-brand marketing program, but it's one marketing team, it's consistent go-to-market, it's the same kind of business model, and you can do that all in one portal. That will still exist. That's called brands.
Yeah, this is great for those enterprise organizations that have multiple multiple business and brands that they're managing. Love the features set from this. Love asset copying. It's going to save companies a lot of time with that. So let's keep rolling. Journey automation. So next, I want to talk through journey automation and what this is. So journey automation, customer journey automation, long form name of it. What this does is you'll when you look at it, it kind of looks like workflows, but really what journey automation is the reinvention and reimagining of automation for marketing teams. And so when you think about if you're a marketer inside of HubSpot, if historically if you've been using it, you've used workflows to help send nurturing emails or internal notifications to sales. You use automation for updating properties, use automation for a whole host of different things. And one of the challenges with just using workflows for all of that is that you may need 5, 10, 20 different workflows, depending on if you have different personas that you're going after, if you have different types of business lines and everything like that. And so what customer journey automation is a tool set built for marketers to allow you to then simplify this whole experience so that if you think about if you have 3 different personas that you're targeting, instead of having to build out 10, 20 different workflows for each persona and different paths, you can create one customer journey automation. And what this does essentially is you start with a goal of what who should be in this specific flow. And then from there, or in this journey, and then from there, you set the criteria for if they should go to that next stage or not. Or so if you have a new lead that comes in from one of your personas, by the time they meet some sort of criteria, when they hit that criteria, then maybe you want to send them these other types of emails. But if they don't meet this type of criteria, maybe you want to send them down this other path. And so this type of automation will just make it so that when you think about from a reporting perspective, if you have to look at 20 different workflows, it's kind of hard to understand what's working and what's not. But if you have just one customer journey that you're optimizing around, you can really see that conversion rate at the end of the day. So, I think one of the questions that I see come up with customer journey automation, which is brand new, is like, do I still need workflows if I have this? And how I would be thinking about this is, customer journey automation is for marketers. And so, it kind of, I think there's a strong case for having journey automation as well as having workflows. I think workflows are very powerful. They've been around for years. They're so useful for both external and internal automation. They're useful for updating properties and sending webhooks and so much more. Very powerful. And I think customer journey automation, I think this is really built for marketers. So if you're a marketing program, you already have a ton of automation built already using workflows. It's up to you if you want to rebuild that using customer journey automation. I think a lot of customers are going to benefit, especially like new HubSpot customers are going to really benefit from this. And I like when they're getting this type of setup for the very first time, or if they're moving from another automation system. And so we'll send out the slides, but we have a little video for you on how this all works that you'll be able to just click on this slide.
Yeah, I got 2 nuggets here. We can't really do hand raises. Maybe we can. Who in here has a workflow that looks like an absolute rat's nest, right? Like jumping all over the place. If you edit one bit of that, it can break the whole thing. It's like really cumbersome. Or the alternative is you have 17 different workflows and you're trying to jump someone from one workflow to another. Like your workflow tool in HubSpot has 1,000 lines and you don't know what's connected to what. You can't really judge performance. It's a real pain in the butt. So that's really focused on like the marketer's use case. Journey automation simplifies all of that. So each of these little square steps you see in the small screenshot is its own workflow. The next bit that's super cool is when you're in the tool, you can hit metrics and performance. So you're going to get metrics overlaid to see how many people went through each step, what percentage split hit each step. So you're getting live reporting on the performance of your journey in that app. The next is if you have Marketing Hub Enterprise and you get access to journeys, this enhanced automation for the marketing use case. One of the things that a lot of people have access to that they didn't necessarily adopt quickly or is cumbersome to do is the customer journey report builder, right? So right now, it's kind of funky to get that Sankey graph and understand what steps and which workflows you want. This, when you click performance, it'll automatically create that Sankey graph for you. So I like this and how it kind of builds into all of the other value in Marketing Hub Enterprise and makes it really distinct and super valuable for those marketers who have access to those tools, or a good excuse to be able to upgrade and make a strong business case for the ability to understand performance better with the enterprise functionality.
Yeah, I love that connection into reporting, Brian, of customer journey automation into some of the reports. So let's jump next over to Content Hub. So Content Hub, first we're looking at brand identity. So you've seen different brand kit type of functionality inside of HubSpot for some period of time now, but as HubSpot starts to embed Breeze and AI into different functionality within HubSpot, in order for you to get the best quality outputs, you need standardized business information. And so the purpose of this section inside of your settings area, brand identity, is to really unify, what is the personality of your brand? What is the tone of your voice? What is the specific logo that you should be using? What are your brand colors? All that kind of stuff. And by having all that unified in one area, when AI is looking at your organization and helping you create different messages or do anything like that, it has one centralized place to go. So brand identity, one area that you want to get set up if you're looking at leveraging the AI functionality inside of HubSpot. Next other update in Content Hub, I think this is one that customers have been asking for maybe a decade at this point, maybe more, hosting HubSpot content on a WordPress subfolder. And so for, as long as I've been in the HubSpot ecosystem, in order to be able, if you wanted to use HubSpot to have your website, but maybe you wanted you wanted to have WordPress as well. Well, now you can have both, and you can have the best of both worlds when it comes to a search and SEO perspective. And so this is just a nice upgrade on the Content Hub side of things in Pro and Enterprise Content Hub. And this is in public beta now. Next, Marketing and Content Hub. So this is a quick one right here, adding a meeting calendar to CTAs. So what this is essentially is if you use any pop-ups or CTAs on your website, this makes it really easy for people to go and book meetings on your calendar. So I think a really obvious use case for this is if you think about it, you have a page on your website that's for a specific line of business. And let's say you have one specific rep that manages that line of business, or a team that manages that specific line of business. Well, you can have a pop-up meeting calendar that just floats up on that page. And instead of pushing people to fill out forms or, go to a different page to try to request a consultation or something like that, you can just have the meeting pop up right on that page. So this is a great way to just book more meetings with that sales team, send those people to sales, eliminate that friction, just give people the calendar so they can start talking to the salespeople who they're looking to understand your product and service a little bit better. Let's jump to Sales Hub next. So next in Sales Hub, guided actions. So the couple of updates I'll share now is just the guided execution of activities. So what you'll see on the screenshot is within the sales workspace. And this is where your sales team should be working their deals, working their leads, working all of their prospecting, everything like that. And HubSpot's doing a lot of innovation just around guided actions. And why I think this is so important, guided actions and what that actually is it just makes it easier for your salesperson to log in at the beginning of the day and know exactly what they need to be doing. I think sometimes new salespeople, organizations, they flail because they just really don't know how they should be kind of organizing their day. Should they be spending time prospecting? Should they be working on their deals? What should they be cleaning up data within the contacts and companies they've been interacting with? And really, what the guided actions do is it essentially says, hey, today you're going to call this person. Next, you're going to connect with this person on LinkedIn. Next, you're going to send this person a WhatsApp message, things like that. And so if you just queue up that list of very specific activities for your sales rep, it makes it a lot easier. Brian, I would be curious if something like this is how this would be useful for you.
Yeah, I was in seat as a sales rep with a monthly quota at HubSpot for many years. And I used HubSpot tools, which was awesome, but I didn't have this type of guidance. And so I had to go back to pulling myself out of kind of whatever rabbit hole I've spun down and say, all right, what do I need to do? How do I prioritize? I'm sometimes using paper. So this type of thing built into the system helps a rep to be more efficient, right? The next one I think super interesting, Paul, I think is that we kicked to, or maybe it's baked into this, is guided actions on deals. I think this is also really important because sales reps often get what we call happy ears. And they think, yeah, this deal's progressing. I had a conversation with them. They said they'd follow back up with me. And you end up focusing on a bunch of other deals or prospecting. You kind of forget. You have a good feeling about it, but you forgot that, hey, 14 days has passed since you've contacted that person. That's a deal risk flag. They mentioned something on the last call that's recorded in the transcripts included in your HubSpot CRM, and that's a flag that their budget went down. So you as a sales rep don't need to wait for that one-on-one with your manager to pressure test your pipeline. HubSpot is giving you guidance in what to do to be more efficient with your time and how to check yourself and qualify your deals even better. The system knows all this information because HubSpot's listening to your calls, it's pulling all this unstructured data, and it's actually helping you to become a better version of that sales rep. It's not taking your job away with AI and some of these guided actions. It's really making folks more efficient. So I think this is really impactful for businesses that have sales managers that have a bunch of reps or reps who don't have as much experience kind of managing their day and pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that deal risks part you mentioned as well. I think it's so impactful, and I think we've seen this in some like a lot of third party tools. And I'm glad it's getting baked now right into the deal, so you can kind of see where there's risks of this deal falling off the table. Service Hub is next. So Brian, take us through Customer Agent. What is this specific update?
Yeah. Customer Agent, I think, is a fantastic piece of functionality inside of HubSpot. Our customers agree, and our customers also agree, right? There's incredible stats on the amount of tickets that are being resolved through the Customer Agent. And the Customer Agent, as a reminder, is trained on all of your material as a business. So you can put in your website, you can put in your knowledge base, you can put in public URLs, you can put in files, and the Customer Agent learns all this information and can respond to end user inquiries and help to reduce the burden on your service reps for taking actions and activities. However, there are questions that are unique to that end user or something that doesn't exist in that information that an individual agent, person, rep would have to go and look up. An example of this, password reset, not automatic, kind of difficult. That's an example that we talk about a little bit. Another is just like look up the order number or look up if something is shipped yet. Those are things that we as consumers kind of expect from a B2C consumer business. I expect from Gap.com or for example, you can do that in B2B use cases or through HubSpot now by being able to call an API action inside of a customer agent function. So if an end user asks a particular keyword, asks a particular question, you can instruct the customer agent how to respond. And program in the ability to perform an action to go and grab something from an external system or something from internally inside of the CRM database that's unique to that user and push that right back out. So I think this is a really impactful update for businesses that have things like orders, but your use cases are really endless. And customer agent can really be expanded even beyond just the service use case. But this is available in Service Hub Pro and Enterprise as of today.
Yeah, and I think, the use case of looking up an invoice or shipping status, if you think about it for those listening today, like how many minutes does it take you to look up that kind of information when a customer emails you about the status or anything like that? It probably takes you a few minutes. You have to look that up. So if you think about being able to automate that specific follow-up action by connecting HubSpot to your ERP or your inventory system or anything like that, you can pretty quickly quantify the amount of ROI that you get from this kind of update with Customer Agent. So let's look at Sales and Service Hub together. Brian, take me a little bit more on the custom channels API for unified messaging. What exactly is this?
There's a little bit of a thread between the last one, which is having everything housed in one system for the end user and for the customer, right? So for both, you want to be able to communicate with each other or provide a quick answer all in one unified experience. And this is what HubSpot is delivering on in terms of the promises that we've made. So instead of going to look something up in an external system, or instead of having to monitor an external chat for something like Line or Telegram or WeChat or Viber or some industry specific channel where you receive communication in, you can now create your own custom channels API and get all of that piped into the inbox, into the service inbox, into that communications, conversations inbox. And that is really big. Folks have been asking for stuff like this for a long time. WhatsApp was a big one. Facebook Messenger was always a big one, right? These are ones that have been built into HubSpot for a long time. Now you can take this custom. And I think that folks who have that as a pain point are going to see this as a pretty awesome and quick fix to bring all of that communication centralized, so you don't have to monitor multiple different channels through external softwares.
Yeah, and I just love, being able to integrate HubSpot with like your bespoke chat channel or communication channel. Like those are things that never been available before. And now if you have something that your customers truly rely on, you also want that in HubSpot, all that manual action really goes away with this API. All right, we're moving forward. Breeze. Brian, research intent came out. Tell me about what this is. How can customers benefit from something like this?
Yeah. This is a big one, I think, for businesses that are utilizing external data to try and inform and populate their CRM for better targeting, for better prioritization, for alerts and notifications for sales reps. Breeze Intelligence has always been, or HubSpot has always been really focused on first-party data. If someone's visiting your site, you send a notification to a sales rep or you update a lead score. What we're doing here, folks, is we're expanding this to third-party data. We get third-party research intent data. You can understand who's ready to buy even before they hit your website, because you can identify high engaged, high fit companies that are researching topics that are relevant to your business across 200,000 other websites. And that's the promise that Clearbit acquisition and all of the data that our teams have built into HubSpot's Breeze Intelligence can provide. Now, these cost credits and the ability to get research intent is required at certain tiers of Breeze Intelligence. The third-party research data is huge. So just functionally, you put in a keyword around a topic, you can monitor. And one of the features that I think is really valuable is if people meet a certain level of criteria for your ICP, your target account, and their research intent, you can auto-add that company to the CRM. You could assign that to a sales rep. You can send a notification. All of that's happening with folks who you don't even know yet. And this is a big expansion from HubSpot's first party only. And I think that folks are really going to see a lot of value instead of using multiple different data tools externally to do it all in one unified system inside of HubSpot.
Yeah, that's true. There are many tools people are jumping back and forth from and trying to push research intent data into HubSpot, and having this all in there just again makes that all-in-one value proposition really come to life. And I think about sales teams that have BDRs and that maybe don't have a really flush pipeline of prospects or anything like that. What they can do with this is just like look up keywords or topics related to like what they sell, and then identify those companies that may be in market for them. So I think it's a great update, and just being able to go like even higher up in the funnel, understand who those companies are that you could potentially work with. Smart properties. So this is another one. We're going to go ahead and send out a video after this, but what smart properties are? I'm so excited about this one. So smart properties, what this is essentially is if you think about the properties inside your database, you get those updated via form or through import or manually updating, everything like that. And when you think about your properties in your database and bringing together Breeze Intelligence and AI inside there, what you can essentially do is you can create a property to leverage AI to help populate that property. And so if you think about just a quick use case, you could think about this, about having a property in your database for maybe like company background or something like that. So what you could use AI for is to put in a query to say, do research on this company's background, give me when they were founded, how many employees they have, what funding rounds they're in, what's the name of their CEO, what products they sell, things like that. You can put that onto a prompt, and then that property gets AI uses that, and that uses that prompt, and then it'll populate the property with the output of that. So if you think about companies in your database and you've got a company name, but you don't have any up-to-date information about them, smart properties can really help you go in and update that just by leveraging AI. I think this is a wonderful update from Breeze. I think we're starting to leverage AI across the board in our CRM and providing that level of research. But there's just like so many different use cases for this that you'll be able to explore with smart properties. And we'll send out that video following this.
Paul, I'm kind of blown away at smart properties and the potential use cases here. So I can't wait for folks to get their hands on this and really roll up their sleeves with it. But the thing that I think about to really simplify like the value that this can bring is a huge time saver, a huge context builder, and ultimately it's a self-populating CRM. So I was thinking of use cases around company or industry research so that a sales rep could have a company domain and automatically have a blurb pre-populated with the key pieces of information that you want prompted. And that happens automatically instead of this salesperson grabbing the domain, going over to their customer version of ChatGPT, copy and pasting some prompt that they use. Great. Okay. Grabbing that, copy and pasting that back into the CRM, and that's one record. Here you can do that with a click for your entire database for 100 records in a smart list. Yeah, sky's the limit. So this is a super impactful one. And we could probably spend a ton of time on things like smart properties or multi-account management or journeys, but we are pretty right on time. And I'm glad that we were punchy with this. We're right around that 30 minutes. So thanks, Paul, for all your insights.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian, for joining today. And just in closing, just give you a couple of perks for everyone that attended. If you signed up today, there's no need to sign up again. You will get the invites going forward. Additionally, we're going to send you that customer journey automation walkthrough so you can kind of see what that looks like, see if that's a great fit for you. And then a behind the scenes walkthrough of smart properties straight from HubSpot themselves. So you'll get all those if you've signed up for today. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Thanks, Brian. And we look forward to seeing you next month for the next SmartTake. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day. Thanks, Paul.